Hey Maxers, welcome back to Patmax Adventures. I am Patrick, and before I start this video, I just want to say thank you to everyone that left amazing comments in the last video about the aftermath of Hurricane Nora here in Puerto Vallarta, specifically Zona Romantica, and those of you that followed the links I provided and others who have provided to leave donations. It's helped a lot. On Monday, my friend and I went to a local grocery store. We bought a lot of food, a lot of canned food. I bought some diapers. I bought some other necessities that people may need. My friend Jeline and I made over 60 sandwiches, went down the Malecon and down into Zona Romantica and handed them out to the homeless and people in need. It felt good to not just donate to the food bank here, but to physically go out and donate my time and food. It's an absolutely beautiful day here in Puerto Vallarta. It's been about 5 days since Hurricane Nora. Today, I'm gonna retrace my tracks from last week and show you guys what the current situation is, what it looks like. And for those of you that are contemplating about not coming to Zona Romantica specifically, today's video is gonna show you why you don't need to change your plans. So starting off where I left off, guys, as you can see, it is very low tide. You can still see a little tree out there and this other big one. The last time I filmed down here, this bridge was closed. It was just the day after Hurricane Nora. Since then, for the last 4 or 5 days, this bridge, this is a walkway bridge from the Malecon, it has been open. So this will be your main access right now on foot into Zona Romantica as usual. This is the first main bridge into Zona Romantica, and I apologize guys, I don't know the specific name of this bridge. This bridge normally is one way, but because of the collapse of the bridge just up the river, they have converted this bridge into a 2-lane in and out of Zona Romantica. It appears that this bridge was not damaged that much from the water, from the storm, which is a great thing. So if you need to take a taxi or you're driving into Zona Romantica, you can drive right over this bridge with no problem, and this will be the bridge most likely that you will exit from as well. So I'm gonna take you guys from where I started. This road was completely full of mud. Actually, all the roads around here just 5 days ago were completely filled with mud. The people here in Puerto Vallarta are amazing, and just Mexicans in general are so friendly too. This was a mess. Everyone was shoveling up mud. I mean, it's amazing what it looks like here. Yes, there's some trash still, and yes, there is a little dirt, but the difference within 4 or 5 days, I think, is incredible. So there are still trucks coming down here, collecting the mud, collecting the dirt. I mean, you can still see a little dirt in the road, but it's amazing within just 4 or 5 days, 4 days, of how much better things look down here. And just imagine, guys, if this is what it looks like after 4 days, imagine what it's gonna look like after a week or after 2 weeks. This is how resilient the people here in Puerto Vallarta and just Mexicans are in general. This is really amazing, to be honest. I am so happy to see how quickly people came together to help and to put everything back together. I think some of the heroes out of all this are the construction workers and local people and the National Guard and all of those that came down here to help rebuild. I think it's just amazing to see people come together here. I'm walking down one of the many beautiful side streets here in Zona Romantica. I love these streets. Gosh, don't you guys love these buildings? This is what makes Puerto Vallarta so unique to other places in Mexico. So we're coming up to the house that I saw that was almost dangling and had the crack. I'm curious to see if it's still there. No, of course it's still there, right? I'm just curious to see what it looks like and if they've done anything with it. The river looks much, much calmer. Yeah, this is the house, isn't it? Yeah, this is the house. Well, it's still here. It still has the crack. And it hasn't fallen into the river. However, I don't think anyone's gonna be living there right now. Actually, this is the garage. I believe that this is the garage to the actual house itself. So, I guess if this fell into the river, it would be the car. But I can't see what the house looks like on the other side. If it's just the garage or if it's the house too. But better to not be in there. I'm not sure. There's a car in front, so I'm not sure if anyone is actually currently in there. Look at the river. Look at the difference today. 4 days later, and the river looks like it's back to normal. Almost back to normal. The water treatment plant is still here. It's just been damaged. Sipal. I read that it was gone, or heard someone say that it was gone, and it looks like it's still here. It's just damaged. And you see they're still continuing to repair the damage here. I did read, however, that Puerto Vallarta is known for having some of the best water in Mexico, that their treatment plants here are very good, and that the water all around the city is really good quality compared to a lot of other different places around Mexico. Over here was the building under construction that pretty much collapsed into the river here. Looks like they've been clearing it out. Kind of scary because there's this huge condominium or apartment building just right next to it. But again, look how calm the river is today. The contrast compared to last weekend is incredible. Here is another bridge that was blocked off last Sunday when I came down here, but it's open again, which is great to see. Here is another view of the building that collapsed. So today we can look at it from the bridge. Look at this. Look how that raging river just ate away at the edge. Incredible. Mother Nature does not play around. Man, it is hot today, guys. I am sweating like crazy, so don't mind the sweat. I want to talk a little about this condominium here. I just talked to an owner of one of the units in there, and she explained a little of the situation. Some people have said, oh my gosh, it looks like it's about to fall in, and it does. You can see underneath it, it looks like it could go. I was told that there were 3 civil engineers that have good reputations that came in to say that the building is sound and that there's nothing to be concerned about. The building, since the Hurricane Nora has been evacuated, no one is currently living in there. However, the owner that I spoke to that has a unit in this building told me that they have not received any help from the government, no help from the homeowners association. So I don't know if anyone has any connections with this building or could help with that. Disappointing to hear that there's no help going towards the people that live and own units in this apartment building. And if it were to collapse, imagine guys, if that fell into the river, that would change the direction of the river, let alone it could damage people and property just down the river. So I hope that the government and the people and the community step in to help places like this, because that sounds like a really difficult situation. Here's where I think it looks the most dramatic. Half of the road fell into the river. As you can see, there are cars still going along the road, but they're taking turns. So they'll allow cars from this side to go over, take a break, and then allow cars from that side to come over. I'm on the bridge I was on last week. This was the only bridge I could use to get into Zona Romantica last week. And this road was covered in mud, but today it is pretty much completely clean. Amazing after 4 days. This is exactly where I walked in the mud last weekend. It was like a half a foot and a half, not even a half a foot and a half. Hola. So this is where you can see some of the bank of the river has collapsed. You can see a pipe sticking out there. Last week, this road had telephone poles in it. All of that has been cleaned up. There was mud everywhere as well. That has been cleaned up. One thing I admire greatly from the people here in Puerto Vallarta and in Mexico is their resilience and their positive attitude. The day after the hurricane was rough, and a lot of people had mixed emotions. I felt it. I saw it on the street, understandably. But within 4 days, to see streets completely cleared out and people having a positive attitude is something I really admire. There's still more cleanup to do. People are still gonna need assistance. I admire this about the people here, and this is one thing I really love about living here in Mexico and traveling around Mexico. This was the area covered in water last week, 4 days ago. The water was up to the top of the sidewalk here, and the sidewalk here was underwater. This was all water. Oh, someone's going to the bathroom. There's still mud. It's still a bit messy down here, but the water has receded, which is good. But this was all underwater. So this was when I came up to the river, guys. Do you remember? I came up to the river and the water was like 6 inches, maybe not even 6 inches, to overflowing again. That's how high the river was. Look at that. That's easily 4 feet. Amazing to see how low it is now compared to last week. And the night the hurricane hit, this was all flooded. So the water came up from there and came up to the doorsteps, or even above that, to the homes here. Here is the pedestrian bridge that has pretty much been destroyed. People were still crossing it. Now it's completely blocked off for safety. I think that's a good idea. There's still a lot of dirt here, but considering that this was full of water and mud, I am surprised it even looks this good 4 days later. Here's the playground I stopped by in the last video. The water had this bridge halfway underwater, or no, I think this one was pretty much all underwater, and this one was the only one not underwater. Again, look how high that is from where the water is now. And at some point, the water was even higher to cover most of this slide. Just a contrast. Here's a view from inside Zona Romantica of the bridge that collapsed. Earlier we saw the construction from the other side. This is a view from the inside of Zona Romantica, but hopefully, I don't know how long, but maybe in the next few months, this bridge will be rebuilt, stronger, and things will be a lot more back to normal. Well, I'm back on the beach. No surprise there. I hope this video was interesting for you guys to see. I'm really impressed by the cleanup so far. I would love to hear from you guys. What do you think about the cleanup so far? Are you impressed? Are you excited to see what it will look like in a week and in 2 weeks? And just to make it clear, the areas that I showed in the video last week and today, these are the most damaged areas, or some of the most damaged areas here in the Zona Romantica area. There is more damage up in the valley in more local neighborhoods, but I only showed you guys the area down here that looked to be the most damaged here in Zona Romantica. I saw some videos online and people saying that Puerto Vallarta has been destroyed. No, it hasn't, and I hope that this video clarified that. And if you're planning to come here in 2 days, in a week, or in 2 weeks, to not do anything, don't cancel your trip. Why? There's no reason to. There's no reason why not to come here. So again, I hope this video makes you feel better about coming here now and to see the progress. I'm going to leave links to the donations down below so you can continue to make donations. Even though there is a cleanup going on, things look much better. People are still gonna need help and assistance. There are still issues like the apartment building I showed across from the bridge that is looking kinda not so good at the moment. There are homes and businesses that were destroyed. So people are still gonna need assistance, and if the most that you can do is tip a little bit more when you're here, do that, and that'll go a long way. Remember to live every moment to the max. I'll see you guys next time.